you very much for the introduction, and thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be able to present to you the new Skilled Immigration Act. As Ruth said, I have prepared a little PowerPoint presentation, but I will focus mainly on the possibilities for academics, and then afterwards I also will be available for questions, and I will also try to highlight one homepage from the federal government, which is called Make It in Germany. And then this is really my point, to share with you today, that you, at the end, if you're interested, visit that homepage and really, see what's interesting and what's possible in Germany now. I want to see. Do I need any special rights to start my presentation, or I can share my screen, right?
Exactly. I think you can just share it. It should be enabled, this function.
Okay, let me check.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see that option here.
Oh, okay. It should be below. I can
the green
share screen. The green
arrow pointing upward.
Oh, okay, let me make it smaller again. Okay, now I think I will be able. One moment.
Next to the chat function.
Okay, I found it. All right, perfect.
Perfect. Super.
All right. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen. Then I can start. All right, you can all see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, so the presentation is about the legal framework for skilled migration to Germany, and just a little bit to give you some perspective and a little bit of background. So why am I participating here, and what is this all about, basically? Yeah. So we in Germany have actually quite a drastic shortage of skilled workers. So as you can see here, there are hundreds of thousands of jobs that are vacant, and this is why this Skilled Immigration Act has been expanded to create more opportunities also for citizens from non-EU countries to come in Germany and to live and work in Germany. Yeah? And there's a high demand basically in all sectors, but especially in the medical field, in the IT field, and in the engineering field. And also with the changes that are about to happen or already happening in the field of new heating technologies, there's also a big demand for that. And as you can see here, there are almost half of all German companies are actually affected by this shortage of skilled workers. So you can see this is quite a substantial amount, and quite an important topic for our government. So now I will show you a small video from our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Robert Habeck, who is also really engaged in this topic, and who will share some information with you. Let me just see if this video now works. This. Sorry, I want to make it bigger. Okay, sorry, I think I have to do it like this. I hope that's okay. No.
We're still lacking the tone, I guess. Yeah.
You probably have to enable your speaker, your mic.
Okay, I have to.
Philip, we are unable to hear you. We are unable to hear the video. Maybe you can just summarize.
Okay, you're not able to hear the video. Sorry. Let me just try one more thing.
Yeah.
That works. Got it open. Can you hear it now, or is it still not?
Still can't hear. Maybe you can just summarize the video.
I can try. I found it on my screen. If you like, I can, if that's another option.
Philip, you are muted.
Oh, sorry.
Philipp,
Yeah, I will
no.
skip the video, and then we maybe I can share the link in
Okay.
the end, and then who's interested can watch it online.
Sure. I can share this link in the F&A.
Yes, perfect. Then let's do it like this. Yeah. All right, great. Yeah, so the next part is I want to talk a bit, before we go into the legal details, to talk a bit about why you should consider actually working and living in Germany. And I know that, of course, for many people, the primary interest is the salary. And in general, I think German companies, they offer a really competitive salary. But I won't argue with the fact that maybe in the United States or in the UK, Australia, Switzerland, they would offer a salary that may be a bit higher. But what I want to stress is that if you think about immigrating to another country and working there, that maybe the salary shouldn't be the only interest for you, but also the living conditions and especially the working conditions. So as you see here, this presentation I made especially with a focus, focus on South Africa. But here you will see in comparison the average annual working hours per worker, and surprisingly, Germany is really at the bottom there. If you compare it, for example, with the United States or interestingly South Africa, you have a really big difference there, and you see that in Germany, on average, it's not applicable, of course, for every profession, but on average, the working hours would be far less. And also, looking at public holidays, German employees on average, they had 40 days of holiday and public holidays. That's even higher than the EU average. And as we will see on the next slide, also much higher in comparison to other non-EU countries. Yeah, as you can see here on this slide, here there's another number is 43 days. But if you, for example, compare with the United States, would be only half of it, or even less than half, and also Australia and United Kingdom similarly have less vacation days. So I think it's also like some facts that people normally don't know. And maybe when they start a job or immigrate to another country, they don't really think about. But I think that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. And apart from that, there are, of course, other benefits in Germany, like social benefits. So child support, there's paternity and maternity leave. So even as a foreigner living in Germany and working there, you are also entitled to these privileges. And then safety is an important factor for many people. So Germany is a fairly safe country. You can roam around freely. That applies to both the big cities and the countryside. As I mentioned earlier, many companies will offer really competitive salary. We have a stable and affordable public, it's important to stress, public education system. So you rarely find private schools. You rarely find, of course, there are some private universities, but the majority would only visit public schools and public universities, and they both have a really high quality of education. And then, so all these facts and more information, as I mentioned in the beginning, will be available on this website, Make It in Germany. So, so this website offers not only legal information about the visa application process, about the requirements for working in Germany. It also offers a lot of information on life and facts about Germany. So there's information about how to open a bank account, how does it work with health insurance, can I use my foreign driver license, what do I have to do to get a German driver license. So all of this information that is not really information you need to find a job or to work in Germany, but it's general information about life in Germany, which is I think very important if you consider living there. And then I want to now focus a bit more on this actual law, so the Skilled Immigration Act, and I will focus especially on the academics who have a university degree. So skilled worker in the German definition is both someone with a higher education degree, also applicable to people with a qualified vocational training. So this vocational training is quite a popular common thing in Germany. It's not so much in other countries, but still now this new law also allows citizens from other countries who have a local qualified vocational training to come to Germany and work there in their profession. But now for this presentation, I really want to focus on the higher education degree. So this law applies to immigrants from countries outside of the European Union. So that means, basically everybody who's not German, who's not an EU citizen, would fall under this law. And what's important in this whole process is always the recognition or comparability of the degree. So, but I will talk about that a bit later. So here, the people who are in focus, who are interesting for us are, as I mentioned, people with academic qualification, with the vocational qualification, or people who are interested in vocational training or studying in Germany. So people who don't have this degrees yet, but who want to get it and who want to do it in Germany. And then, of course, also experts and specialists in selected professions. So this is basically the first thing is this recognition process for the foreign qualification. So here there's a big, they make a difference between non-regulated professions and regulated professions. So this, what does it actually mean? So regulated professions, that would be a profession, as I said, is mentioned here as a teacher, physician, nurse, lawyer. So that means if you're a lawyer from another country, you have a law degree, in order to work as a lawyer in Germany, this degree that you have first needs to be recognized by a German entity. So I think this is quite logical. It would be basically the same in every country. If you want to work as a physician, let's say in France, you have a degree from Ghana, and vice versa. They would always say, okay, this is a really delicate profession with a high responsibility. This is why we really need to check that you fulfill the requirements. So this is quite I think a common thing and understandable. But then I want to look at this path here. So national from a third country. Third country refers to non-EU citizens, and like the normal case would be that they have a foreign university degree. So this university degree needs to be comparable to a German degree. So actually Germany has established and is still establishing a database where we have already a lot of degrees that have been recognized already. So that means if you have a degree that is already in the database, let's say somebody else did the same master's as you, let's say he did a master's in engineering here in the University of Cape Town. This person 2 years ago applied for the recognition process. The entity in Germany recognized this degree as comparable. Then it would be in this list, and then as a future applicant, you can refer to this list and say, listen, my degree is already in the list, so you don't have to go through this recognition process again and again. It's only once. it has to be recognized, and everybody else who has the same degree can refer to that entry. So this database is growing and growing and growing. Yeah, in many cases, if you check yourself, you will probably find in many cases that your degree has already been recognized by a German entity, and that would actually be the first step that would allow you the entry to the German labor market. And now I want to talk a bit about the visa types and the residence permits and what are the requirements and what are the benefits. So there are, of course, a lot of different laws and types of visa and residence permits. I really want to just focus on the EU Blue Card, which is the second one here. And for the applicants who cannot get the EU Blue Card, there's always, or many cases, the possibility of a residence permit for skilled workers. So the difference in the end, the EU Blue Card is just a bit more, let's say, the end, the practical difference for you as an individual will be not so great, yeah. But I don't want to bore you with like the laws. That's basically our job to figure it out and find the adequate one, yeah. But we always try to find if you match the EU Blue Card requirements, we always try to give you this. Even if you would apply for a visa for skilled workers, and we see, oh, this is actually someone who's qualified to get the EU Blue Card, then we would give you the EU Blue Card. Yeah, so this is quite important to keep in mind. So here they make a bit of a difference. So the EU Blue Card is focused on people with an academic qualification who would get a certain salary level at their job they wanna do. Yeah. And then the residence permit is a bit broader, and it's for people also with the academic, but also a vocational qualification. So here we see the requirements for the EU Blue Card. As I mentioned earlier, this recognition is important of the foreign qualification. So you would check, okay, my academic qualification has already been recognized by the competent German entity. This is the first check you can make in the recognition process. Then you would need to have a concrete job offer that matches the academic qualification. Yeah. So if you are an IT specialist or a software developer, the job that you want to exercise should also be in that field. Yeah? So you cannot work as a pharmacist if you are an IT engineer. Yeah? So this is, I think, quite obvious, but something to keep in mind. Then there are salary levels. So this is the gross salary you would need to earn annually to qualify for this EU Blue Card. This is the current salary level. And there's even a lower threshold for bottleneck professions. So these would be, for example, in the IT sector or in the medical field. But actually this year, November, they will even lower both thresholds even more. So it would be even more people who would qualify to get the EU Blue Card. German language skills, interestingly, it's not required that you have German language skills. Of course, it's always recommended if you live in Germany that you are able to speak German or have some knowledge and then practice your German while you're there. But by the law, it's not not a necessity. So let's say you work again as an IT engineer at a big software development company in Berlin where they speak English anyway. So they might just hire you and say, okay, you don't speak German. It doesn't really matter to us as we speak English in the office anyway. Yeah? So that's also interesting, and I think many people don't know that, and they would think, oh, I have to speak, or I have to be able to speak German at a really high level in order to work there anymore. And then the EU Blue Card, it can be given to you for the duration of your contract, plus 3 extra months. But it's important to know that this could be also the first step for a temporary, like a permanent residence permit, basically. Yeah. So after you work for a certain period of time in Germany and you fulfill some other requirements, then you're also entitled to apply for a permanent residence there. Yeah. And eventually, if you use that, if you stay longer in Germany, at one point, of course, you're also able to apply for the German nationality. Yeah. So then we have this residence permit for skilled workers. So I don't want to get too much into detail, but let's say you don't fulfill this salary level here for the regular profession, then it's possible to get the residence permit for skilled workers. So this is like a second path for you to work in Germany. And then you find, of course, again on the Make It in Germany site, more information on the EU Blue Card as well. So so you will see again what are the current requirements. Then there's also a video, especially on the EU Blue Card. There's like a glance, so the basic steps you have to take to get the EU Blue Card. Another video, actual job listings, which I will show you later. So again, I really encourage you to visit the site. It's a bit of reading, of course, but it's really, really useful. It gives you all the required information that you would need. And same applies for the residence permit. I won't open the link, but there's also especially a video on the residence permit. What are the requirements for a visa for skilled workers? So you find all the information on the website. Another type I want to discuss here, I want to let you know, is the visa for job seekers. This is also really interesting, and I think many people are not aware. So of course, it's always difficult from abroad to get a job in Germany. Even though it's possible now, like with Zoom, you can make online interviews, and many employers also practice that. But of course, it's always better to be there in person, to introduce yourself, to come into the office, walk around. That's always better. Yeah. So this is why this visa for job seekers was created. So if you, there are basically three big requirements. So again, you have the academic qualification that has been recognized, and you are seeking, you want to work in Germany, and you are able to cover the cost of living for the period you want to stay. So let's say you want to go to Germany for 4 months to look for a job. Then you need to prove when you apply for the visa that you are able to cover the cost of living for these 4 months. Yeah, and then while you're there, so this job seeker visa can be issued for up to 6 months actually. And while you're there, you're also able to work up to 10 hours per week as part of the application process with a potential employer. And after you have made a successful job search, you're already able to apply for the residence permit and work permit while you are in Germany without the actual need to come back. So this is also quite interesting, that if you are successful on your job search, you can just apply for the work permit / residence permit and take up employment almost immediately. Huh? So now we go to this website briefly, makeitingermany.com. Let me just search the references. So what I want to show you here is first you find all this special professions in demand, which you, like, if you fall under one of these categories, you're really invited to have a look how we define these and what are the possibilities. But what I want to show you now is this is called looking for a job, this section. So you will see that on this website you find actual job listings. Yeah? So you go to this page, you are referred to the Federal Employment Agency. And there you can actually look for real jobs. But I just want to show you one other thing where you can do it right from this this web. They have something, quick check, exactly. So this is quite useful. This is called quick check, where you immediately see what's available and what's possible for your individual case. So let's do it now, like as an example. So in Germany, you want to work. So you just check work, it's already there, perfect. And then you are a citizen, in this case, from another country. That means non-European citizen. Also, there are some differences for the countries here. So you click another country. You have a university degree, perfect. And you graduated in a foreign country, so you have a non-German degree. And you don't have a binding job offer yet. So now they will say you, okay, this is the result. what needs to be done is the recognition of your university degree, and you need to find a job, basically. Yeah, so get a concrete job offer. And then here's a tip. Oh, we have actually some job listings which you can find right on this this homepage. So we can, for example, say, or let's say you are an engineer. Sorry, on IT engineer. On a sector. Okay, do it here. So these are all the federal states we have, but let's say you only want to work in Bavaria because you like Munich so much. Then you find here, I think these are all the jobs which are now available in Munich. So these are from today. Yeah, you see 20th of October. 20th of October. So they've been put out there just today. But I want to maybe do it also for just a sector. Let's do this one: natural sciences, geography, and informatics. So now you will see just the ones that are applicable. Sorry. In this sector, so you are able to actually search for the ones that apply to you. So here we have one from IKEA in Regensburg, Bavaria. They're looking for application system administrator. They listed this yesterday, so you can just click on it, and then you will see. Then you will see the actual job listing. It's a full-time job. That's the information about the company size. Yeah, so what the benefits of. Unfortunately, many of these applications, because offerings, because it's from the federal German employment agency, are just in German. That, however, does not mean that they will only hire people who can already speak German. Yeah, so in many cases they would also say, okay, fine. For this specific job, it's not really necessary to have that level of German as is here in the description. And then they also added here this homepage. You can just translate it right away with this tool to English or Spanish or French, so whatever's your language. And then you will have this information already available here in English in this case. If you are French speaking, just change the language. So it's also really convenient. Yeah. And then you can actually find also the contact information here. So you have to send an email to this email address, and then you can start the application process. So actually it's quite straightforward, and it's not as abstract as you might think, as you will see these real job listings there. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else I wanted to show? No, so like my general recommendation is really, if you're interested in working in Germany, this Make It in Germany site is really well designed, and you find a lot of information there. And if you have questions, if you need assistance, they are also there. They have a hotline. They will also guide you through an application process if you are unsure of how the degree can be recognized. They will guide you through that process, and it's all for free. They have a hotline you can call like 5 days a week. They have an online chat, and they're really investing a lot of human resources and yeah, not only human but also finance here to really use this as the main platform to start your journey towards Germany. Yeah, they also offer, for example, webinars, which are also quite good. I also participated in a couple of them. Sometimes you're focused on specific sectors. So here on Tuesday, the 31st of October, there will be one on nursing professionals in Germany, in English. And then here you can find the past webinars. So these are also quite helpful. So they do them a couple of times per week. They give you tips. Yeah, so it's really good resources. Yeah. So please visit the website, scroll around, and try to see if there's anything interesting for you. Okay, yeah, so thank you so much for listening to me. I will check if there's some questions, or if you have questions, you can please post them in the chat.
Great. Yeah, Philip, I think we've got a lot of questions. Some might have been answered. I mean, most of them perhaps,
Okay.
but some maybe not. So please, everyone, continue writing in the chat, and you can also raise your hand, and I invite you quickly also to speak. I think we've got one person. No, it's not. Okay, let's get to the chat then first. And so we had some persons really asking questions more specifically about their own field of expertise and what their chances are. And I can see on the website, there is the information provided, Philip, right? But I hand this over to you. So we've got
we'll just start to get to the initial questions here for me. Okay. Can you perhaps link us up with recruiters in Germany? So, I mean, there of course are many recruitment agencies. So these are like private agencies who will normally they are hired by companies in Germany who look for employees. I mean, they might approach you, let's say via LinkedIn. They see your profile and see, oh, this could be interesting for this and that company. And I think that's of course perfectly fine. Like we as a federal government, we wouldn't work with private recruiters directly. But these hotline that I mentioned and the contact information there, they do basically a similar job, but then from your perspective. Yeah, so you would approach them and say, okay, I have this and this qualification, I have this and this degree, I'm interested in working in this sector, and they would actually see, okay, has this degree been recognized? Are there potential job listings that might interest you? So I think it's if you're really interested, I think it's possible to go to the Make It in Germany website and contact them directly, and they are really more than happy to assist you in this whole process. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what's their main task. So they're really looking forward to your questions and your inquiries. Okay, I hold a PhD in biodiversity and climate change, and being in Germany for stay of 6 months. So I'm not quite sure what I'm being in Germany to stay for 6 months. So if you're I mean, I'm not sure if you're like in Germany at the moment, or if you want to go just for 6 months. So, I mean, if you're there for a limited period of time, that also, I think, let's say you are there on a Schengen visa for a visit. Of course, during that time, you are also able to look for a job, to do interviews, but with a Schengen visa, which is a visa which wouldn't allow you working, you would then need to come back if you have a binding job offer, and then you would apply for a work permit, basically. I hope that answers the question. Otherwise, please let me know. Okay, which industries in Germany are vacant? Logistics and supply chain management. So this is basically also one of the fields, the logistics sector, where they're definitely looking for experts. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, the shortage of skilled employees affects like half of German companies. So there are some sectors are really, let's say, a bit more desperate. So health sector, IT sector, engineering. So there's a high demand, but there's also a demand in other fields. Yeah. So, but you will see on this website, Make It in Germany, you see on the left side, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are like these jobs where there's a really high demand. They have a special subsection to give you more information. How was your journey to become a diplomat? Yeah, maybe I'll okay. Just briefly, I applied with the foreign ministry, and then I did a training or like a university degree with them. And then since then I'm working with them. But of course, yeah. So the German Foreign Service, they would you would need to be a German or EU citizen. So this is not, I think, applicable for most of you. But of course, if you studied political science, I encourage you to consider working for your home country in the Foreign Service, which is a great interesting field. Sort of opportunities available for someone who holds an honors in development studies. So again, I would refer you to the website, and then you could like in this job search that I showed you, you could enter your degree or the sector you're interested in, so that the sector that matches your profile. and then you would see which job listings are there for people with a background in development studies. Yeah, so thinking about GIZ or other NGOs who would be interesting, or universities who need skilled employees in that field. So, but you will see on the homepage actually which jobs are listed there. Yeah, an efficient transport system, that would be great. So if you're an expert in this, we would welcome you with open arms to improve our current transport system. Yeah, the PowerPoint I can share with you. I think that's no problem. Yeah, but I think what I also want to do, because now in November we have a lot of changes in this law, so it will be actually more even more welcoming, let's say it like this. It will offer more opportunities than there are already now. So I want to cross-check with the agency who develops the presentation and update it, and maybe then it's even more interesting, what it would be more accurate, and then we have the legal basis that is applicable, and it would be just in a month. So I think that's even better. So on degree recognitions, most of public universities in Africa are not included in the database. So I don't think that's actually the case. So just a couple of days ago, I just checked, looking for some universities in Ghana where it was also posted, and some in South Africa. So normally all universities, or not all, but many are there, and also public universities are there. And unfortunately, there are no alternative pathways. So if you want to want to have your degree recognized in Germany, you would actually need to go through the process of recognition, and then it would be added to the database. But they don't discriminate if it's a public or private university. That doesn't really matter. And this is also a good point to mention, that if you are entitled, or if you are able to get the EU Blue Card, and you match that profile, you have a binding job offer, then they would also fast track this recognition application. Yeah, so normally it can take a couple of weeks, but if it falls under this EU Blue Card, they will do it really, really fast. So this is also, I think, good to know. So Schengen visa here, I have a Schengen visa. So for a work visa, it's called. So like Schengen visa it's always a visa that can only be issued for up to 90 days. So with that, you can only stay in the Schengen area for a period of 90 days. And in general, it would not allow you to work. So if you have a Schengen visa, if this 90 days period is over, you will always need to come back to your country of residence. And yeah, this is like a visit visa basically. Yeah, but the work visa is actually a residence permit, which entitles you to stay permanently or for the duration of your contract in Germany, and you are legally allowed to work there. And maybe mentioning this, it's also important to know that the application fee is actually quite low. So for the work visa, or for basically all categories, the fee at the embassies or consulate is 75 euros. And if you are in Germany, generally they have to pay a fee with the immigration authority, which would be another 100 euros. So in total, the whole administrative fees for this process would be 175 euros. If you compare this to a US green card and the duration of the US green card process, you will see a big differences both in costs and processing time. So this minimum salary level, I think you're referring to the one for the EU Blue Card. I don't actually know how it's how I came up with that, but I think these levels, even the new levels, which they will have from November onwards, for an expert with a master degree, for example, in the IT or engineering field, this is quite achievable. Yeah, so it's a gross salary. Also have to keep that in mind. So I think I showed you numbers earlier. You will also find it on Make It in Germany. These are quite low, and they really match a degree holder. Yeah, so if you have a master's degree in these fields, I think these salaries are easily met. Yeah. Is being a DAAD scholar alumni prevent one from employment? I mean, if you are a scholar, you are a student, right? So you're studying, and I think if you have a study visa, you are allowed for to work like part-time normally for a limited amount of time per week. If you have a scholarship, normally that shouldn't be necessary. But if you graduate, for example, in Germany, then with this German degree, of course, you can also look for employment in Germany after you finish your studies. Yeah, necessary links. So the link is basically this Make It in Germany link. I don't know if it was already posted in the chat. Otherwise, I just
shared it. Yes.
Yeah,
I shared it.
yeah. If you can share it, that would be great. So this is like
Yes,
the well, you can also Google it. Just Make It in Germany will be directed on that link. I saw something about German green card. So in Germany, we don't have this green card, but what we created is this EU blue card, which I mentioned. Is not identical, of course, to US green card, but the idea was, okay, in the US, they have this green card thing. Blue is the color of the European Union. So we create this EU blue card. So which is basically the counterpart, to call it like this, to the US green card. So this is the best or most advantageous work and residence permit that we in Germany can offer. Yeah? Okay. Are there scholarships where you must return to your country after the studies, or is it allowed to apply for jobs and get some stay visa for job seeking? Well, in general, it really depends. Like if you have a scholarship, what's the contract basically with the organization? I know there are like some scholarships where they would require you to maybe work for a certain period of time in your home country again to benefit also your home country. In general, if you are a student, that's basically doesn't matter if you have a scholarship or not. So you're under a student visa, and generally, if you graduate in Germany, you have a German degree, then you are able to work in Germany as a general rule. And then if you have a special arrangement with the scholarship organization, I would encourage you to honor that contract, of course. So lecturers, the same. If a university in Germany would offer listings as a lecturer, they have to make it publicly normally. It would also be listed or should be listed on this the database from the Federal Employment Agency. And then it doesn't really matter if it's if you're a lecturer, if you're an engineer. So it should all be listed there. And then your degree again would need to be recognized in Germany, and the university in that case should be interested in hiring you as a lecturer, and that is of course also possible. The cost for degree recognition, actually, sorry, I don't have that number now. I would need to check it, but I did it, for example, for my degree from Sweden, and I think it was about 80 euros, I think, yeah, something like that. So it's in that range, 80, 100, 120 euro, but that was basically what I personally had to pay for the recognition of my Swedish degree. Yeah, so the best place to look for jobs, I think, like this is a good start because it's made for foreigners who are not familiar with Germany yet, with the German labor market. There are of course other websites where you find private websites where you also find listings. I think Stepstone and Monster, so there are many of these, but often an employer would post it on all of these, so you will basically find the same listings on the federal agency side as you find on the private sites. So I think it's normally, as for you as a foreigner who's not familiar yet with the German labor market, I think these listings that are available on Make It in Germany, which are the listings from the Federal Employment Agency, are really a good start. And normally you wouldn't find more or other ones on private sites. I think maybe the next speaker is up, right?
Yes, no, it's great, Philip. It's just this is why I didn't want to interfere, and specifically because you were so fast and wrapping up so much of the questions that have been raised. Yeah, we could continue maybe for 3 more minutes. We are waiting for one further speaker anyway.
Okay, good. Then just
okay, maybe, but it's fine. 3 more. You don't need the break.
Okay.
Thanks very
Perfect.
much.
How one gets certificate of qualification for any transcript to apply for a job? Not quite sure, but if you refer to this recognition process, so you would need to have your university degree available so that they can actually check it, and you have to send them certified copies of it. So like, no, actually you can now send it actually online as well. Yeah, so you would need to have your degree available. I paid for my Schengen visa 80 euros. Yeah, I think, of course, this is not an amount that is unsubstantial. I understand that, but if you compare it, I think to other visa fees, also for African countries, they are often much higher. And I can, yeah, also like this is basically to cover our costs, yeah, and they're not covering the costs, but that's the idea. But I think it's quite like the total amount for the, as I said, the work permit and then later the residence permit in Germany together, 175 euros combined is quite quite affordable in comparison, especially to other countries where you would pay much more money. If you like, I think you can encourage you to roam, like to look for the cost for a US green card maybe and how long it would take. You will see quite the difference. Salary level. So if you apply for the EU Blue Card, this you actually have to have a concrete job offer. So that would be basically what the job offer says. That there's a salary in the job offer, job contract saying, okay, this is your salary, maybe just monthly salary. Then it would see multiplied by 12. So then you have your gross salary. How long must you stay in Germany to ask for a permanent resident card? So this depends basically on the type of visa you had before. So if you come under the EU Blue Card, the period to get a permanent residence card is much shorter than if you come on another type. There's also like a shortcut if you can prove proficiency level of Germany. I think it was B1, but maybe it's also B2. But if you have a certain level of German proficiency, you can also, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but it should be in the realm of around 24 months or even a bit more or less, but around that realm. Then you're also able to apply basically for fast track residence permit. Yeah, so it's also quite a good thing.
Right, Philip, perhaps one more and then
okay, just do one more. All right.
Over to the next slot, but thanks so much.
Does having worked in German institutions like GIZ give one a better chance of getting a job or scholarship? I mean, for a job, it really depends on the context, on the field of job you want to work in. If it's in the development context, maybe, of course, your work experience at the GIZ would probably help. I think what really helps a lot is speaking German, actually, especially for smaller companies who are not in the main cities. That's a big asset. Yeah. Okay, yeah, then thank you so much for all your questions and for listening. And again, I think most of your questions, if you still have open questions, you will be able to answer them if you go on the website Make It in Germany and browse around a bit and contact them as well. And then, yeah, I hope that now you are a bit interested in working in Germany and consider this as an opportunity for you. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Philip. That was really awesome, fantastic, and I'm so fascinated by the speed. Apologies.
No, I want to answer all the questions.
But that's brilliant, really. And specifically, it's obviously really an interesting period coming up. So much more opportunities on the German work market, also for really well-skilled academics. So
exactly.
Apologies for everyone who is not able to raise a question and receive an answer now by Philip. Cosmas, I'm sorry I didn't let you in raising your hand. It's just we have 3 streams of options where people raise questions or quickly want to step in. But yeah, we have to kind of stick to our timeline, otherwise it gets tricky. So thanks again. That was, yeah, it's just now stated in the chat, just brilliant.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you for having me, and please enjoy the rest of your program today and the next couple of days.
Thank you very much. Bye, Philip. Bye.
Bye.